Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here again. How to heal after experiencing extreme emotional narcissistic abuse. This is the second video in this series. A complex yet worthwhile topic to understand if you truly want to heal. A lot of people have hit rock bottom in their life and they get to a point where enough is enough and they want to be free and emancipated of those stifling feelings, the flashbacks that they have encountered through extreme emotional abuse suffered in childhood at the hands of a narcissistic or psychopathic parent or alcoholic individual. And a lot of this same ongoing chronic and psychological emotional abuse can also be experienced in later adulthood, in your 20s, 30s, 40s, etc. If you have become engaged with such a person, either dating, living with, or you have become married to this type of person, and you've exposed them now in your life, and you're now at the hands and mercy of a person who is manipulating you and targeting you in this sort of chronic manner. Something that started out to be very positive, but you have now exposed otherwise. So anything really ongoing can create that lasting impact for you. And it's a very sad and disturbing thing. And a lot of those who have suffered really a gaslighting and a brainwashing experience have had a psychological effect. I mean, it's just, we can either grow with them in a positive manner or we can grow apart from them. And after encountering these types of individuals, we can have a lasting impact, and we need to feel like we can get over this person. It's different than trying to get over the typical relationship that we might have experienced from a casual date or just dating from a healthy relationship. Maybe our schedules just didn't work, or we're dating long distance and it makes sense to break up and we arrive at some sort of closure and a mutual understanding, or maybe it was a messy breakup, but at least it wasn't done by a narcissistic or psychopathic individual. When you've encountered chronic and ongoing abuse of this nature, physically, emotionally, psychologically, there comes a real need to have some tools to heal and get over it. Otherwise, it seeps over into your life, your career, your future family. It will follow you into adulthood, and it does actually follow people into later in their life, in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, where they're still living to please this narcissistic or psychologically disordered parent. They're still living under their thumb in terms of their identity that was created in that dysfunctional family unit. They're still feeling like they're at a disadvantage after this sort of upbringing. They never learned the tools, they've never come in contact with the tools to free themselves from this emotional conflict. They haven't learned how to do it, and that's what we're tackling with here in these videos. So as we're saying, once we're repeatedly around this type of person, even if you've been dating them and it's been a couple months or a couple years, you can still have some severe sort of psychological impact, like, almost like mental whiplash. Like, what the hell did I just go through? I didn't even know that there were these types of people out there. Like, and I've lost my belongings. I've lost so much of my bank account. I've now destroyed my reputation. I mean, a lot of this we feel is irreparable damage. And what we need to look at is get the seat of the fact that oftentimes what needs to be resolved is that unconscious feeling, which is our beliefs, which have been where we've received a negative message from this person, or we've been so taken advantage of, we feel like we can't go on. We're so disrupted at the core of ourselves, and that means it's at the core of our identity, which is who we believe we are. Now, realize that the impact of the narcissist or the psychopath, they were giving you false negative messages. You're not a terrible person. You're not a terrible kid. You're not. Your needs aren't a burden. I mean, all these different things. You are not meant to live in fear. All these different messages are inaccurate. And it is in the unlearning of these experiences that we need to work on. And not forgetting who abused us, not forgetting what was done, but it's in the relearning and learning to focus using our conscious mind, which is called the neocortex, which is the newest part of our mind. And some people say, well, I'm not good at imagining a better life for myself. Well, as we look in our recovery notebook, these are the things we want. The things we want for ourselves. I mean, it's very simple. I want to be happy. I want to live a peaceful life. I want to live free of abuse. These are wants. These are desires. I want to be able to eat healthfully. I want to be able to love healthfully. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to live in a house that I feel safe in. I want to live in a nicer neighborhood. I want to drive a nicer car. I want to get my life back. These are all wishes and desires. These are like things that you want, your goals, and these are what we all write down in the recovery notebook. And so if you articulate these verbally, you can imagine them. So that's why I recommend, getting a actual picture of what it is you want and putting it, getting yourself a magazine, fishing magazine, hunting magazine, Cosmopolitan, whatever magazine that has these sort of images or the lifestyle, Better Homes and Gardens, whatever whatever you're into, going and getting a magazine. I mean, they have these at your everyday sort of pharmacy or grocery store. Buy yourself a couple of these, and get a scissors and cut some of these out and put these in front of you. These are your dreams. These are your desires. These are your new beliefs that you want in your life, and you can and will be bringing about in your life. First, though, to get there in a safe manner, we have to uproot those negative messages that were put into you and understand that they play in your mind unconsciously, almost like a record. Do you remember a record with a needle? Remember the needle? You got the, you've got a record and you put it on the record player, and then you've got the needle with a sharp edge, and it's in like a groove. Remember that? You'd have to get like a new needle to like make it sound better, or that wasn't scratched up or like frayed. So, if you're too young to remember that, just imagine like a groove that is in like, in like a floor or something like that. But like those negative treatments are in a groove in your mind, okay, which cause you to do the same things over and over again, or feel the same way again and again, cause you to feel bad over and over again, cause the flashbacks again and again. It causes the repetitive voices again, the unwanted thoughts. People, when they first get out of these relationships, they feel these disturbing thoughts, these incessant thoughts. It's like their mind just like on automatic fire. Boom, 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 boom. I mean, like a rifle. It's like, an automatic weapon. It just keeps firing off. And that's like literally what's happening in your mind. I mean, think of it like, your heartbeat. Your heartbeat is always racing. It's like your mind is racing also. Unwanted though, you're like, I don't want to feel this way. This is terrible. Like, I can't believe I'm feeling and going through this now after being with this person. I can't live like this. And these poor children who have been in these narcissistic and abusive psychopathic homes of alcoholics is just criminal. And it's so, but it's very sad, but you can get over it. So we need to release those grooves. Okay, we need to change up the grooves. We need to get rid of those in that automatic, which is in the seat of the unconscious. Now, what is required is becoming conscious of the unconscious. So as we said in the previous video, and I know this is a lot, hang in there. If you have to like pause it or whatever, if this is going to take you a month to learn, it might take you a month to learn, but we're going to get there step by step. So what you have to do is you have to become conscious of that unconscious. Maybe this is very easy for some of you. We were probably scolded and told by these people, you're horrible, You know, you're not going to be loved when you act this way. I mean, these are really wrong messages. These are errors. These are lies. So we were told a lie, and we're living a lie, and feeling danger and feeling unhappy. And what really manifests in everyday life is what they call low self-esteem, where you don't feel good about yourself. You feel unhappy. You feel like, I can't earn any money. You know, your job is a reflection of your self-esteem. I mean, if you're underemployed and you feel like, I'm better than this job, like I always knew that I was meant for more, that's your internal real you trying to break free of this kind of imprisoning structure. So you have to become conscious of those, and we're going to be turning that around. Okay, that's what we call turning around your beliefs. So realizing and recognizing that those are inaccurate, and instead replacing them with positive statements which are true. I am safe. I am intelligent. My needs are okay. I love having needs. My needs make me happy. I deserve to live in happiness. I deserve to live in safety. I deserve to earn enough money. I deserve to eat healthfully. I deserve to be surrounded by happy, smiling people. I deserve to live alcohol-free. I can live alcohol-free. I can hang around better people than alcoholics. I know I can hang around better people than alcoholics. I know I can live unwounded. I want to live unwounded. I deserve to live without these emotional wounds. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be healed. I am healed. And as you start to make these statements counteracting the negative, you then start to release a feeling of emotion coming into your body. I deserve to be happy. It's what we call empowerment. A lot of psychological terms here, guys. Right? So this is what we call empowerment. So anyone who is going and accomplishing things in their life, they're what we call empowered. They are activated. They're like following the dream. They're living the dream. I'm empowered. I'm getting this for myself. I'm getting happy. I'm getting peaceful. I'm getting blissful. I'm getting joyful. I am in awe. So you say these statements, and you start to percolate and bubble up these emotions within you. If you keep saying it, this is how the mind works. As you keep repeating it and saying it, your mind starts to say, aha, aha, and it's creating a new record. It's creating a new hard drive. It's creating a new engine. So it's like, you know, people who have classic cars and like they rebuild the engine. It's the same thing that you're doing with the positive statements. However, it's a better engine, it's more powerful, it's cleaner, it's got more horsepower, it's super shiny and new, it's super cool, and it's going to get you where you want to go. And it's not going to feel like you're driving around in some beater that's sputtering out and, you know, crapping you while you're trying to drive, That's really what like the faulty engine is. It's like what the faulty hard drive is on your computer. Have you ever poured water on your computer and it shuts down? That is like what we're doing. And you guys, I teach by allegory, and I teach by metaphor because I want you to see the correlation, because I think it's a simple way for you to understand. But if you've ever poured water on a computer and have it crash, if you've ever seen a computer crash, that is what you do with your positive statements. So you need to do this on an ongoing basis, though. It's not like it's a one-day job. Like, you have to consciously say this again and again and again and again. And oftentimes, the very day that people the very first day that people expose their abuser, they expose the psychopath, and they have those racing thoughts that overwhelm them and make them feel like they're going crazy. It is in the commitment, it's in their very first day that they say, I am worthy, I am out of here, I am so done with this, that's your empowerment, that's your new engine kicking in. Those are the positive thoughts that we want to drive, and that's the water that is spilling on that computer and shutting down the abuser. You're shutting down their influence, you're shutting down their effect, you're ripping out the engine out of the car. I mean, You've driven that car into the auto body shop. You've told the mechanic, hey, look, pull out this engine, I mean, the gasket is blown. The head gasket is like blowing out white smoke. I can't, like, my water fan is busted. Like, rip it out and like put me in a new one. That's what you're doing when you say your positive statements. It is that powerful. It is that important. I know that this is complicated. I know it seems like a lot, but you need to actually literally go out and physically say this to yourself verbally. And what is going to happen is that louder I am is going to shut down and it's going to silence those other statements that were inputted into you from the abuser. And so, and as you do that, you're creating what's called a new neural pathway. You're creating a new connection. You're creating new cells in your mind, which are going on like lights. They're going on like it's electrochemical. I mean, and did you know that in the mind there's more electromagnetic connections than there are cell phones that can go off in the world? I mean, you have so many and it's so powerful. Have you ever heard that we only utilize like 2% of our mind? I mean, can you imagine? It's so vastly untapped. And I know that this is like a lot of information, but what you're doing is you're rerouting, you're remapping your emotions. And as you create this, you simultaneously are creating this positive, and you're starting to get this into motion, and it's flooding into your body. So you're remapping also the DNA within your physical body, and you're creating a new muscle memory in your body. So this is the act of healing. It's just like looking at it, how it works to like a physical injury. If you've ever had a physical injury, like scrape your knee, and at first it's like a gaping wound, and then as time goes, your white blood cells are going to create the scab and whatever it is, the pus that goes there, and like it heals over, and your skin is healed over, and it's no longer a wound. The same thing with these positive thoughts and the positive emotions. But you need to do this repetitively, an ongoing basis, for days, for weeks, and for months. And eventually it's going to become automatic. So you automatically feel good, you automatically feel positive, and you're disconnected from that abuser, and that's actually happening to you in your mind. Peace and harmony with you here today. Please share, subscribe for more great tools, videos, and discussions, and support. We'll see you on the next video.